Magnolia students. This week we are going to keep making more characters. We've already done our giraffe, our goose, and our dragon earlier this year. And so now we are going to do a snail. And I'm hoping that possibly some of you feel inspired by all of these new characters that you know how to draw to write a book and then share it with me, because I would love to hear whatever story you could come up with all of these fun characters. So to get started, you're going to need cardstock or white paper, some crayons or colored pencils, a black marker, and a pencil. Grab all of those, come back and see me. All right, so to start our snail, we're going to use our hand again, just like we did with all of our other creatures. So if you have any rings or any of that stuff, take them off, and we're going to just make this basic fist with our thumb out to the side. You're going to lay it down on the paper and just trace around your hand. Then when you take your hand away, you're going to kind of curve this front portion down and bring it straight out the back and then come up in a point. Now, to create the shell, we're going to come from right where your thumb and your index finger were, and you are going to come down, do a little bit of a bubble out, come up, and then bubble out again, just to give that shell some fun shape. And then we are going to run another line right above that line to look like the rim or the lip of the shell that's kind of turning upwards. Now, where your fingers were, you're going to kind of do not a straight line, but a curved line. So if you imagine this was kind of like a curved shape rolling back, this line would be curved, then this line would curve, and this line would curve. And then that will give you the curves on that shell. I'm going to add some eyes, just doing two like V shapes right off the top of your thumb, and then a nice big circle, and then another kind of C shape on the inside to make where the eye is at. And then if you think of like making a U, and then a little itty bitty short U on the top of that, and then you have the mouth. Now, after you have that all drawn out, you can use your marker to go over the image, keep the lines that you want to keep. If there's any of those lines that you think, oh, you know, I don't like how that pencil looks there, that's perfect. Use the marker to only take the lines you want to keep, and then you can erase all of the pencil lines. Now, if your eyes aren't a perfect circle, you can always kind of come back over them just by kind of thickening where your eye is at. And then you can make it more of a smooth circle if the first time you did it, you didn't get it quite the way you like it. Fill in this side all black, and if you want, you can leave a little circle of like a highlight in the eye. So I just draw my circle first, use my marker, and fill the rest in. And then outline your mouth. So now is when you can take your eraser and you can just erase any of those lines that you didn't want to keep, or any of those pencil marks that were left behind that kind of snuck in. All right, so now whatever you would like to color your snail, you can. If you want to add some expression to your snail, even, you could say that this one's got eyebrows kind of sticking up in the air. Okay, so we're going to color our snail in, and I'm going to give you some ideas on how you can tackle this shell and the snail himself. I'm going to start with some darker colors and then fade out to some lighter colors. So I think for this one, I'm going to do a pink shell. I got my really dark pink, it's more of a magenta, and I'm going to hold the pencil way back at the back of the pencil and kind of use my thumb to push it into the paper. This way I'm not coloring with the tip of the pencil, but I'm coloring with the sides of our pencil. I'm going to come around that back side of that curve, and I'm going to go all the way up all of these little curves with that dark color. We're kind of pretending that we have light up here. And so this is where the shell would be the darkest. And we can let that pressure that we're pushing down kind of fade off as we're going across the shell, so it gets lighter as it's coming out. And we can come back into the very darkest point, the furthest side, and we can put our hand closer to the front of our pencil and hold it like we normally do when we write, and then we can get a lot brighter and darker of a color. Like that. Now let's do the bottom of this shell. We're going to make it nice and dark on this inner line. And then we want to do the same thing where we just kind of let that color fade out. So holding at the back of your pencil again. This kind of keeps us from being able to apply so much pressure, so we can't get as dark, and it helps us use the side of the lead instead of the full lead, or the point of the lead. And then we're going to do another dark line right at the very first line of our shell. And then let that fade out as well. Alright, so now we can pick a lighter color, and I think I'm going to jump to this pink. And I'm going to start from the other side of these shapes, ridges in the snail's back, and I'm going to pull that color across the other direction, coming towards our dark side of where our magenta was. I'm doing this with that colored pencil flat to the page, going on the opposite side of where we put all of that other dark color, so it's like in all the white spots, just like that. Okay, so now I can decide what I want the body of the snail to look like, and my daughter helped me do a snail earlier, and I really liked how hers turned out. She did all the gray, and I think the gray snail with the pink shell would look really cool. So I'm going to do some grays. I'm going to start with my light gray first, and again holding my pencil flat, I'm going to just lay down one basic layer. And I can kind of go back and forth over top of some of my spots. I can change the direction. This is a little bit hard because of the shape that the snail is, but I can come back over and I can say, okay, now this time I'm going to go this direction, and just keep changing my directions over my layers. And that kind of hides any of my coloring lines that I might have. And then I think I'm going to go in with a nice dark gray and create the same kind of shadow effect that we had with our shell. So if our light is up here and the light side of our shell is on the right side, then the back side is the dark side. I'm going to say that the light is in the same spot, and so right underneath of this lip would be some dark of that snail. The back side of the snail's head and neck would be dark. Right behind the shell on the tail would be dark. And right in here. So can we let those colors kind of fade out? Again, you'll see I changed the way I'm holding my pencil so that I am not having to put as much pressure down, and I can let that dark gray just kind of fade into my lighter gray. And there would be a little bit of some dark right here at the very bottom in the front where the light's not hitting because all of this is blocking it. So you can put some dark gray in here too. Now for the mouth, if you want to put a tongue in there, you can. For this snail, I can't pick it up. I put a little bit of a red tongue and then black, and I just kind of let them mix together in the middle. You could just darken it all in black. You could draw teeth in there if you wanted to put some teeth. So you can decide what you want to do with that one. And then the eyes, especially if you put marker over them and made them really nice and black, you can come back in with a light color and draw little lines over top of the black and give your snail some colored eyes. So I'm going to give this snail some blue eyes, maybe a touch of green. It's always fun when you can have some eyes that fade into some fun colors. We did that earlier with our dragon and our goose, and you know what? I did blue and green on those eyes as well. And then this one, I did purple eyes. So you can keep blending your colors. You could draw some flowers in the background, some dirt. Maybe he's crawling around on the dirt in your garden. So you can give him some dirt that he's sliming his way through. I'm just using my pencil, the side of it, holding it flat to the page. And you can even mix some colors to make that dirt look like it's nice and real, and there's like light and dark in the soil from the light in the sky, which would be cool. So have fun with your snail. Decorate it all up. I have one over here. I might actually make her have some eyelashes. And you can pick whatever colors you want. This one I did with the green and the blue. Mixed all of the colors, blend them, layer them. And then this one is all grays and browns. So you can get really creative with what you want your snail to look like. Maybe the background that the snail is going to be in, maybe it's in your garden. And I would, like I said, love to see you bring all of your characters together and see what kind of story you could come up with for all these fun characters that we have learned how to draw this year. So if you remember the snail we just did, the dinosaur, we just kind of made almost like a circle, not a full circle, but a little bit of a circle in your hand, and then we traced around there. the goose, we kept our fingers flat together. That's how we made our goose. And then we also have our giraffe, which we did not too long ago, and our snail. So you have a whole lot of characters that you know how to draw now, and you can put them together and make them all in one book if you want, or just kind of hang them up in your room and show off all of the fun creatures you can make. I can't wait to see what you come up with. Don't forget to send me pictures. Have a really good week and enjoy drawing your snail.